Good morning, Northfield, and I'm Josh Hoffman. Welcome to another edition of News of the Hoffmans. Today we have a very interesting story about the conflict between Tibet and China, which has worsened due to the conflict between the Dalai Lama and China. This is a conflict that has been going on for over 100 years, and a lot of it has been over whether Tibet is independent or not. A lot of Tibetans would like their independence from China, but it hasn't happened yet. In 1959, the Dalai Lama went into exile and had been a spiritual as well as a political leader for Tibet. A lot of the conflict for China has been through the Dalai Lama and how they think he is to blame for chaos such as self-immolation, which is the lighting of oneself on fire. We will hear from a Tibetan man and a Chinese government official for more information on the issue. Now over to my colleague with Tenzing. Hello, Northfield. I am John Hoffman. We are here with Tenzing Lama Coburn, who is a native Tibetan born in the Himalayas. Do you hope for Tibetan independence from China? Do you think this is possible?
I do hope for independence. I think Tibet needs independence from China because the Tibetans need freedom and they won't get that entirely until they have the Dalai Lama back in Tibet. I think it's possible, but I don't think it'll happen unless Tibet gets support from outside countries.
What type of support do you think would be helpful?
I think mediating a meeting between Tibetan government officials, the Dalai Lama and Chinese government officials would be helpful. I think listening to all sides of the issue could help the other groups.
Okay, well that makes sense. If other countries are able to create a place for communication, I bet this situation could be resolved sooner rather than later. Since the Dalai Lama is big on nonviolence, would you support any form of violence for Tibetan independence?
No, violence is not the answer. Nonviolent protests don't seem to work out that well because I don't think China is going to change how they view the Tibetans. I honestly believe that the issue isn't going to be resolved until the other countries become involved.
But sometimes the problem with other countries getting involved can lead to dispute among China and the country getting involved. If another country gets involved, it might seem like they are defying China. So there are pieces like that cause problems and make this issue a lot more complicated. As you said before, you think violence isn't the answer. What do you think of the self-immolation that has been happening? Do you think that is violence?
Well, I think it is somewhat sad for those people putting harm to themselves to get independence. But at the same time, they're trying to get others involved and show that this is an issue that they want to be resolved. I don't think it is violence because it is harming oneself, but I feel like there are other ways to handle the situation than setting themselves on fire, which is ultimately death.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Tenzing.
Thank you.
And back to you, Josh. Thanks, John. We will take a short break, and when we come back, we will meet a Chinese government official named Hung Yi. We are back to News of the Hoffmans. Now that we have heard from Tenzing, we will hear from the Chinese government official Hung Yi. Over to Bill with the interview. So, we have Hung Yi here who works in the Department of Tibetan Connections. So, Hung Yi, what is your job like?
Well, I work with a board of people and we try to deal with the life of the Tibetans. We come up with and enforce laws that keep the Tibetans in their place, and we try and make life as peaceful as possible for all the Tibetans.
Isn't there a big problem with the Tibetan want for independence?
No, not really. The Tibetans haven't really wanted independence. They know that China owns them and that they don't have power.
So, what do you think of the Dalai Lama?
I don't believe a word he says. It seems like he is trying to convince everyone that China is oppressing the Tibetans. That is not the case. We are trying to make life as easy as possible for all Chinese and Tibetan citizens. He has been interviewed and said things like the Chinese are causing cultural genocide. We aren't trying to end the Tibetan race or the Buddhist religion. I am tired of the drama he causes because he makes the Chinese sound like bad people.
Well, I don't think you're a bad person. So anyways, of course you know about all the self-immolation and whatnot. What have you been doing to all the people who are self-immolating and supporting it?
Well, we didn't know what to do at first, but now we have police constantly looking out for it. And if anyone tries to self-immolate, we take them into custody and they are sentenced to jail time. It is a crime to self-immolate, support, or force and encourage people to do it.
Oh, not what I was expecting. Why do you lock them up?
It is because they are endangering others when they set themselves aflame, and they know it is illegal, so when they break a law, we have to arrest them.
Okay then, last question. Why do you think outside countries view this as an issue?
I think it's because, to the rest of the world, the Dalai Lama is a religious leader for Buddhism, and even non-Buddhists find him important. So when he says anything that is attacking the Chinese, people perk up and listen. This then leads the public to believe that an issue is occurring when there isn't one.
Okay. Well, thank you, Hung Yi. It was great to get a chance to speak with you. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Hung Yi. We will take a short break, and when we come back, we will end our part for the international story of the day.
Do you like beaches? Of course you do. Everybody loves beaches. So come on down to Jamaica, man. We've got the hottest beaches in the world.
We are back to conclude our story of the day. As this conflict grows larger, we will surely be hearing about it in the news. But for the meantime, it sounds like the Tibetans and the Chinese have very different views on the topic. We would like to thank Tenzing and Hung Yi for being on our show today, and thank you, Norfield, for watching another great show of News with the Hoffmans. And stay classy, Norfield Maherman.